Hi guys, if you clicked on this video, then you obviously know the struggle of wearing contact lens and makeup and having like some contact lens makeup residue being on it and being really hard to clean, and you'll blink, there'll be like a blur spot, which is happening right now to my right contact. As you know, I used to be an optician for 8 years, so I'm not in the industry anymore, but I just want to make an informative video on the best and the worst contact lens for makeup wearers, just before I forget everything that I've obtained in the last 8 years. So I have fitted contact lens for patients who like wear a little to no makeup or a lot of makeup, and they usually have the complaint of their contact lenses being oily, or there's a film on it that gets on there throughout the day and they just constantly have to take them off and clean them. But I'm gonna go over like the monthlies, dailies, and bi-weeklies, from worst to best in my opinion that I have used personally. Now, disclaimer, this is not me telling you to go get these contact lenses. They do come in different sizes and base curve and material, so you will have to get them fitted to you. Let's say I talk about a contact lens that interests you, then I would highly suggest you going to an eye care professional, optometrist, or a contact lens fitter optician to take a look at them in your eyes before you start buying them off of any website or in store, because if these lenses don't fit on your eye properly and they don't match the curvature of your eyes, it can cause a lot of complications, infections. So I'd highly recommend that you go and see an eye care professional, have these actually fitted to you, and make sure that they fit you well before you continue on. So these are just recommendations that I have tried myself and it works out for me. It's not me telling you to go and get it. So yeah, let's get started. For years I was wearing Acuvue Moist. So these are dailies, right? So these work perfect for me. I never really had any issues with makeup residue on these. Occasionally here and there, if I wore like a lot of eyeshadow and during my application there would be like makeup on it, then I can rinse it off after. So these I've never had any issues with. I switched out of these because I was really overusing them too much. So I needed something with a higher oxygen value and something that's a bit more comfortable and healthier for the eyes. So then I switched over to the Acuvue Oasis One Day Hydraluxe. These are much better in comfort, but the material of these, unfortunately, it attracts oil and makeup quite a bit, and even if I take it off and rinse them and clean them, it unfortunately sometimes doesn't clean very well, so I have to toss them and put on a new one. So I would say out of the dailies, these I would say are the second worst for makeup wear because it does attract oil and makeup. And there is one more that is worse than these. I don't have a sample of them here, but they are, I'll put a picture on one of these sides here, but they are the Dailies Total One. They're in a purple package. Extremely comfortable, extremely high amount of value for oxygen. The only thing is the material that they're made from, they're very slippery, so it's really hard to take them off, and because of that material, it does really attract those makeup and oil. So during the day while you're wearing them, if you are applying makeup after, you will notice that there is like spots on the lenses that collects eyeshadow or like oil residue, and you're going to be looking through a film the entire day, at least with my experience. So those would be the worst. And I would say the best for makeup, I wouldn't say best in oxygen value or comfort, is Dailies Acuvue Moist, and then the second worst, Acuvue Oasis. I love these for comfort. I think they're amazing, but unfortunately for me, when I wear makeup, they just cling on to the oils and eyeshadow. And then the worst is the one that I just mentioned, the Dailies Total One. And then let's talk about the bi-weeklies. I don't think there's much bi-weeklies on the market. The well-known one I would say are Acuvue Oasis. Yeah, Acuvue Oasis bi-weeklies, and then there are one more, I think it's Pro Clear bi-weekly. Personally, I haven't tried those, but Acuvue Oasis, I've never had issues with these. I'm currently using them right now. I switch back and forth between the dailies and the bi-weeklies depending on what I'm doing in the day, but I wear these religiously, and these don't have an issues for me with contact lens and makeup residue too much if I'm careful with my application. But once if there's makeup on them, they're pretty easy to clean with like an all-purpose saline. Okay, sorry, I got interrupted. I got a phone call, but basically we were talking about the bi-weekly lenses, Acuvue Oasis. So these are the ones I wear currently right now. I do still have issues with like applying makeup with these and the shadow or powder getting onto the lens, but it's much easier to clean than some of the dailies that I've worn in the past, especially the Daily Total Ones. It's gonna be really hard for you to completely avoid this issue overall, because as you're applying makeup, the powder does fly into your eyes or the lenses and it will stay there, but it depends on the material and how easy they are to clean off after. So these are really nice. I use them right now. I still do get makeup on them, but they're easier to clean. And also, if you're using a hydrogen peroxide at the end of the day, that will clean everything off of the lens anyway, so it's going to be much easier for you. So these I really love. And then if we're talking about monthlies, all the monthly I find are pretty easy to clean because the material, they're a bit more thicker because they're supposed to last you through 1 month, and because the material, they're really easy to slide off and clean. So the ones that I've used in the past, I'll put a picture of up here, are Biofinity. So Biofinity are monthly lenses and they are easy to clean, and I usually always use hydrogen peroxide, so it's a lot easier to clean. I don't have to scrub them at night, but the only negative thing is you have to leave them in there for at least a certain amount of hours, and I leave mine in there for at least 8. There are some on the market that are 6, and I don't really remember what they're called, but I think there was a recall on them at one point. But if you're using any hydrogen peroxide cleaning system, there is going to be a time frame that you would have to leave it in there for, so that the saline, the solution can neutralize into saline, so it's safe for the eyes. It's not going to burn you when you're using it. So Biofinity I've talked about, and I've used Air Up. I haven't used monthlies actually quite much in the past. I've only really been a fan of dailies and bi-weeklies, just the more frequently replaced lens, just because yeah, the more frequently I replace them, the easier it is for me to maintain. Less cleaning, you know what I mean? Less cleaning them, easier. Dailies are my favorite, but if I'm just wearing them for like an hour or 2 at the gym and I go home and I toss them out to shower, then I think it's kind of a waste. So I usually use the bi-weeklies for the gym for 2 hours. I come home, shower, take them off and shower, and then if I had to go somewhere after, then I just pop on the dailies, or I put on the bi-weeklies again. That way I'm not wasting them that quickly. I'm going to be doing a video on how to thoroughly clean your lenses with hydrogen peroxide and regular contact lens solution like saline, Opti-Free, or Biotrue. So stay tuned for that video. But if you have any questions about contact lenses, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to help you as much as I can. But again, I can only make suggestions. I can't really tell you like, oh, these lenses are going to fit your eyes, you're not going to have any issues with them. But you have to go and get them looked at under the microscope so they can check the movement. Yeah, they can check the movement, because if the lens is moving, if it's too flat for your eye curvature, then the lens will be moving too much, and then you're going to have a lot of discomfort, a lot of redness. And the lens is too steep for your eyes, it's more on the flatter side, then you're going to have a lot of issues with hyperemia, which is when your eyeball's not getting enough oxygen, and that is a terrible situation that you want to be in, especially long term. So you definitely want to have them look at before you go and buy like 6 months worth of them or a year worth. If you go to any optometrist or eye care professional and they're fitting you for a certain lens, they will give you a week's worth of supplies to bring home and try and test out first before you buy the whole thing if you're happy with them. So ask them and see what they say and what suits best for your eyes. But those are my suggestions, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in my next video.